In previous tutorials, we created a template that uses the actual layers of a composition to show up as UI elements online. So text layers become text fields, and image layers become image browsers, and solids become a color selection. But what if we want to have other UI elements to represent our layers? So, in this example, what we're going to do is create a use case in which the users can select specific images from a list instead of uploading images. For example, this could be useful if you want to do something with social media icons, where you have all the social media icons available to you already in your composition. To do this, we'll create different UI elements to represent our content. This will save you from going back and forth searching for different social media icons. To start, go back into After Effects and import all of the images in the folder so that now we have 3 different pictures. Now, create a new folder. We are going to name this folder Footage. Now, the name of the folder is important, but we will return to this later. Select all of the images and place them into the folder we just created. Now, remove the extension from the name of each image. We're not changing the file at all, just the name of the file. So now we are back to where we started, where the image will show up as an image browser online, so the users can browse for an image, what we covered in the previous tutorial. Now what we want to do is modify the way this layer shows up in Template Farm. In order to do that, we're going to use another hashtag here that's called UI. UI is an extended hashtag, and you can read all about it in the documentation. In this case, we're going to call it Options From, which means it's going to take the options I'm going to show from this image from the name of the folder we defined here, called Footage. So in this case, we're saying this layer that's called an image is going to show up as a UI element that takes the options from the folder Footage. Let's save that and see what happens. Back in Template Farm, reset the project. Then you will notice that the image field that used to be a browser now appears as a drop-down menu, which shows the options of all the images in the Footage folder we created earlier. Whichever image you choose, when you hit Preview, it will show up in the preview. As you can see here, with our image of New York and the island. With this method, we don't have the option of using the cropping tool. So in order to adjust the settings of the image, you have to do so before bringing your image into the composition in After Effects. This is easy to do if you pre-comp your image and use that in the composition. Let's give it a try. First, we're going to empty the Footage folder. Then, we're going to take the island and drop it into a new composition. And we're going to change the scale to 800 by 800. And then rescale the island image to any desired size. You can also reposition it a little bit. And you can change the name of the image. We're going to do the same with the New York image, scaling it to 800 by 800, and then scaling it down further and repositioning it. We'll change the name of that composition to New York. Finally, we'll do the same thing for the tiger, setting the resolution to 800 by 800. Scale it down a little bit and move the position. After we have renamed the new tiger composition, select all of the compositions and place those into the Footage folder. As you can see, you can use any type of content in here. We've already used images, now we have compositions, and you can even use video. and these will appear in the drop-down menu in Template Farm. Back in Template Farm, reset your project once more. You will see the same selection as before in the drop-down. However, if you choose an image now, for example the island, there will no longer be the bad cropping from before. When you select Preview, you will see that the island image fits perfectly in your nested comp. What is actually happening is we're loading a different composition that takes care of the framing and scaling of the image within the main composition. This also gives each user the opportunity to choose the perfect image for their project. As we mentioned before, a good example would be choosing between social media icons, or team logos, or player avatars. All of this content can be preloaded into your composition ahead of time. And then the users can just select which content they want to show, with no need to upload anything new. This will ensure that your templates are uniform and always look their best.